Let's talk now to our correspondent Dan Johnson about reports that the Arndale Centre, the huge shopping centre here in the centre of Manchester, which many of you will know, has been evacuated in the last few minutes. Dan, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that's true, Victoria. We were just stood outside the Arndale Centre, which is right in the heart of Manchester city centre. It's actually very close to the area that is still cordoned off after last night's attack at the arena. And just in the last few minutes, police have swept through the Arndale Centre and through the streets around it, pushing people back, telling them to move away for their own safety. Now, there were quite a lot of people out in the streets. Many of them have come to see exactly what happened last night. Many of them just getting on with their business and shopping. But there were crowds of people pushed back by the police, and some panicked and ran. I've even seen people this morning in tears. Obviously, there is a lot of shock in this city at what happened last night. There is a lot of nervousness about what else may possibly be about to happen. The police haven't said exactly what the nature of this threat is, just that people need to get back for their own safety. And I've just spoken to one man who was part of that crowd pushed back, and he said that he heard something he thought sounded like shots. Now, other people are saying that they've heard something that sounded like a bang. We can't confirm exactly what that is. I didn't hear anything myself, although I'm at the other side of the building from where the main crowd of people ran from. But we have had reports that one man has been arrested by police here in the last few minutes. So the cordon that was just around Manchester Arena has now been extended by quite a large margin. It now takes in the whole of the Arndale shopping centre and a number of the streets around that in Manchester city centre. Big crowds of people here now waiting to see what exactly has happened, whether they can get through to carry on their day or not. And people are waiting some information about exactly what the nature of this extra threat was, what has prompted the police to take this move to push people back. Police saying that people needed to get away from the area for their own safety, but not saying exactly what the nature of the threat is. We do have reports that police have arrested a man, and as I say, one eyewitness that I've just spoken to has said that he heard shots. We might be able to just put him on the phone to talk to you, Victoria. This is Daniel. If I could just put you on the phone, Daniel, and you tell Victoria Derbyshire on BBC News what it was that you saw when the police pushed you back. Yeah. Hello? Just describe the scene for me.
Hi, Daniel. Good morning.
I was sitting in just about to sit down in the food court. Then I was asked to leave the food court because the police stormed in and had wanted everybody to leave, and the shops still opened, and anything was chaos.
So you were in the Arndale Centre just sitting down, and the police told you you'd got to get out?
Yes, it could get to get out of food court at first.
And how did people react?
They asked.
Police are just pushing us back a little bit further because they've got to bring a van through, so they're just asking people to step back away from the road to make a bit of space. It doesn't look like anything extra is actually happening other than the police just bringing in some more officers with a van while they're just asking the crowd to move back a little way to clear some space. Were you afraid, Daniel, when the police pushed you back?
I was feeling sure because it's the police. If they think just a little bit is happening, they ask people to leave. And then I stand around just outside the food court for about 10-15 minutes, I think. I had no time of a clue. And then somebody starts screaming, running and screaming towards me, shots fired from the other end of the mall, perhaps.
How are people feeling this morning in this city? It's already a tense time.
I just got here from the airport.
Just arrived, just flown in?
Yes, 2-3 hours.
Did you hear about what happened last night?
Yeah, it's just before I left for the airplane.
How are you feeling now? You're shaking a bit.
I'm calming down. It's good to be outside. I just need to get my bag from inside.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate your time. Just take a minute. Everybody a little bit shaken by what's just happened. The fact that with everything in mind from last night, the police suddenly telling everybody to move back because their safety was at risk. There are now armed officers just getting out of a car here. It looks like they're going to go and search the Arndale Centre to check it over. As I say, all we know is that about 10 minutes ago, a large number of police officers came down the street and told everybody that they needed to get back for their own safety. It sounds like they did exactly the same thing in the Arndale Centre, in the shopping centre itself, telling people they needed to get out, they needed to evacuate that building, a large building with lots of shops and hundreds of people in it this morning, trying to get on as best as possible with life as normal here, considering what happened last night. And reports that some people, including Daniel, telling us that they heard a bang that he thought sounded like shots. Other people saying that they've heard some sort of bang, and there are reports that one man has been arrested here by police just in the last few minutes. So now a much larger area cordoned off, even on top of the big exclusion zone that was in place after last night's bomb attack at the arena. Now a bigger part of Manchester city centre sealed off, more police officers arriving to try and make sure that this area is safe. Large numbers of people being held back by police tape. Everybody wondering exactly what is going on now. Obviously, a tense time for everybody in this city. They've barely even begun to absorb what happened here last night to those young people and families who are in the Manchester arena. And now it looks like maybe something else has happened, which has caused the police extra concern.
Thank you for the moment, Dan. And as soon as Dan gets confirmation of what it is shoppers in the Arndale heard, of course, we will bring that to you live. People are apprehensive, aren't they, because of what happened last night? But people mostly are absolutely shocked and devastated because they cannot believe, talking to the people around here, they cannot believe 22 children and young people were killed at the end of a gig in the centre of Manchester last night. We're going to bring you up to date on this developing story this morning. In the past few minutes, as we've been reporting, the Arndale Centre, which is the big shopping centre here in the centre of Manchester, is being evacuated in what police are calling an urgent evacuation. That's about maybe 100 metres or so from where I'm standing now. Also, we can tell you this morning that very sadly the first victim of last night's terrorist attack has been named as Georgina Callender, who was studying at Runshaw College. She was one of 22 killed when a suspected suicide bomber detonated a device at the end of an Ariana Grande gig at Manchester Arena. Chris Phillips, the former head of the National Counter-Terrorism Security Office. By the way, the latest on the Arndale shopping centre, which was evacuated about 10 minutes or so ago. According to the Reuters news agency, it is now reopening. So the Arndale shopping centre is now reopening. That's according to Reuters.